Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today we continue the Vintage Adventure, sponsored by Patreon subscriber Guy. Guy has me playing a bunch of different vintage decks over the next several weeks, and today's entry is Blue Tinker. This deck takes many forms. Basically, the idea is you are a blue control deck of sorts with all sorts of powerful tutors and card advantage spells and interaction. And somewhere in your deck is the card Tinker. Tinker can shove a giant monster into play, something like Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Sometimes it's Blightsteel Colossus. That's a metagame consideration. Sphinx is really good against Force of Vigor and the Fair deck, so that's getting the nod here, it seems. And Bolas' Citadel, a printing from a few years ago at this point. Relatively new in terms of the vintage timeline, but not a new card by normal years. Completely messed up, totally flipped this archetype, totally flipped the card Tinker, which was already completely busted, and now it just has this available too. Look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than its cost. And then you can sack 10 permanents, deal 10 to each opponent. Another cool thing you get with Tinker is Time Vault and or Manifold Key. Together, you get to take unlimited turns. Time Vault enters tapped, doesn't untap to your untapped step. You can skip a turn to untap it, and tap, take an extra turn. If you untap it with something that stays in play like Manifold Key, you just do this every turn, then your opponent doesn't get to do anything anymore. Another powerful thing to do in a deck full of Tinker and tutors that get you to the Time Vault or the Tinker. That's the core shell. All of it supported by maximum fast mana. Every single Mox in here. We're not quite on the Mox Opal Chrome Mox level of things, but all 5 actual Moxen plus Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Black Lotus, that's all here. And that shell can be, or that core can be put into all kinds of shells. Sometimes it's Grixis, sometimes it's 4-color. Right now, it seems that Esper is in favor. And what Esper does is it gives you also this Hullbreacher Orcish Bowmaster's Timetwister engine. We put Narset in that pile as well. Narset, card that's restricted in Vintage because of its synergy with Wheels. Hullbreacher, kind of the same thing, but is a creature that can attack and block. Orcish Bowmaster is not as good as either of those, but still a creature that can attack and block that punishes draws. Drawing cards is something that most Vintage decks do, so you get to naturally punish those. And then having any one of these things in play turns all of the tutors that we've mentioned multiple times already into Timetwister, which then ends the game. This is a classic Vintage type of deck. It just has a ton of power in it, has a bunch of Force of Wills and interaction, and a bunch of busted ways to win the game quickly. This is more my speed of Vintage. I was looking for a Tinker Breach deck, but it seems that Tinker Breach is kind of out of favor right now. It was very low on the goldfish percentage. Recent results didn't look that good. That bums me out. I like that kind of magic. But as long as I'm casting Tinker, I'm having a good time. Let's go do this thing. This is Esper Tinker. 3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for Vintage, Legacy, and Old School players. They now exclusively offer the BoshNRoll community free, fully insured, and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets, and out-of-print sealed product. They upload new cards every Wednesday with weekly sale offers and reductions. Use my code BNR0723 to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over €341, approximately $380. Scan the QR code or go to shop.3for1trading.com. I'm on the play in round 1, immediately put to the test against none other than Montolio, former Vintage champ from Canada. This hand does deploy Urza Saga and protect itself pretty well. If the Saga gets destroyed, I don't really have a plan. I'm going to keep it for science. That's what Magic players say when they know they're keeping a bad hand. Alright, Montolio is on a Bazaar of Baghdad strategy that does contain Wasteland. Disappointing. He's famous for playing workshops. That's what he won his Eternal Weekend with. But in the Moto queues, he mixes it up frequently on various flavors of Bazaar. Once upon a time, 2 Vengevines in exile from the Serum Powder. Hollow one. Disappointing. Bazaar, obviously. Bazaar is not Wasteland, though. Count that as a victory. I can force a hollow one if I'm worried about it. I probably am. The Bazaar decks that keep 7 are just such nonsense, because this deck can main deck Force of Vigor, that if we get to my turn, I just lose. Okay, a pair of Root Wallas, and the hollow one is enabled. I am not going to force hollow one. I'm going to save my force for Force of Vigor. I think that is more likely to be an important card in this matchup. Second hollow one. Got me good. Moved to second main to do it. Oh, Black Lotus. Yeah, good hand. X-Drinker, sick. Alright. Collector Oof. Glad I held this force this long. He really tried to get me on the hook for something that was not the Oof. On the flip, Mox Ruby. That does make my constructs larger. 1 card left in my hand. Taking a lot of damage here. I get a 4/4 that can tangle with. It can trade with any of these creatures, or trade with any hollow one, and then beat the smaller creatures. The last card in hand was Wasteland. Vintage players, they're really good at this. Okay, now I'm in trouble. I have to rip a Tinker. If I get Sphinx of the Steel Wind, I'm kind of still gaming here. All right, I think you just shove with everything. Yeah. This is 4, 5, 6, 10 if I block Hex Drinker. I think I have to block Hex Drinker. That's the smallest creature right now that I don't trade with. All right, Tinker's for Sphinx, and we're still in there. I have enough mana that Demonic Tutor gets me there. 2 for 2 on crit flips. Unbeatable. Well, alright. Gotta survive another turn, and then I can start making more constructs. I would take 6 this turn. End stepping Bazaar. This gives you Root Walla for free, but you are Hellbent. Alright, well, if I lose my crit flip, I lose the game. Bazaaring in the upkeep, that gets you 2 discards banked and 2 cards in your graveyard, and you get to keep 1 from your draw step. Well, I have to block a hollow one now. And if I lose crit flip at any point for the rest of the game, I lose. Moment of truth. And we're dead. Okay. That Saga hand looked really bad versus how busted that start was. For what it's worth, even the Saga, if the Wasteland wasn't there too, would have been fine. But instead, super dead and looking stupid about it. Okay. Leyline. I like Shouldered. It's just a meaty body I can put in front of their stuff. Orcish Bowmaster provides blockers and removal for the scrappy little dinguses. Tabernacle is frequently just Plague Wind forever. Bathing Needle turns off Bazaar. Ataxian Probe. I mostly don't care what's in this hand. Hullbreacher's interesting. Force and Negation, probably no. Not a lot of spells that I need to counter on my opponent's turn here. Dig Through Time feels crazy slow. Lorien Revealed feels crazy slow. Noxious Grasp kills Collector Oof. I guess that's probably partially what this card is for. Also a Wasteland deck. My Swamp can come in. This is a big sideboard if I do all of it. And maybe Flusterstorm can bounce. I'm worried about Force of Vigor with Flusterstorm, but it doesn't counter the cards I really care about that are like Collector Oof. I'm gonna board out Misstep. I'm not gonna spend that on a random Root Walla. Bolas' Citadel does get really risky because they put a ton of damage on the board very quickly. Top can be pretty slow, especially against dedicated Collector Oof decks. I'll leave 1 in because it does go Pseudo Infinite. Narset. I think Narset is worse than Hullbreacher, and now I'm just in the spot where I have to cut stuff. 1 cut left here. Maybe I do cut a Hullbreacher at the end of all that. And bringing in a bunch of creatures. Okay, here we go. Heavy reaction to the Bizarre Baghdad strategy. I am on the play with a straight line to Vault Key. I can't currently interact with a Force of Vigor. I can tutor an answer to Collector Roof. I'm going to keep. This is just a turn 2 win. The awkward part is if I'm going to top and vamp, I have to kind of back off of Urza Saga a little bit. I think I want to hide this Black Lotus. Because if I can get him to just like wasteland me or something, or just attack for a bunch of damage, that's all fine. If I have to vamp for Noxious Removal, whatever that card's called, Noxious Removal spell, I can do that. Very good at keeping 7. This is basically cheating. Found a Vengevine off of the Once Upon a Time 2 Root Wallas. They triggered the Vengevine. This is what this deck does. Puts you under the gun very quickly. That's a bunch of power in play. Getting my Vine Venged. And step Vamp Tutor. Going straight for the key and trying to win this game. Okay, I'm going to play Saga and see if this baits Force of Vigor. Can't imagine it would. Yeah. Don't care about that. Black Lotus. Manifold Key. Time Vault. All in. Cool. Just didn't have a Force of Vigor. Took turns just absolutely throttling each other. Welcome to Vintage. Alrighty. I think my plan is still the same. I'm just on the draw now, so everything's worse. Submit deck. I don't like this hand. And it kills Bizarre, but not quickly enough. If this hand had a Mox, I would keep it, but it doesn't. I can't just like strip mine their Bizarre, be behind whatever happens from there, and then start casting removal spells. I'm gonna ship it. Okay, this one does have a Mox, and I'm in. This is a very similar hand, actually. Okay, so I gotta bottom one of these cards. If I Pithing Needle Bizarre Baghdad, play out Mox Pearl, then I can Academy Scroll for Ancestral, cast Ancestral. That's a pretty good turn. If I send the Black Source, I lose Bowmasters. If I send the Saga, I lose. I'm going to send the Saga. I think it's more important to guarantee stuff. Like we saw, Saga doesn't even necessarily keep up with this deck. Oh, I actually miscounted. I need the Mox Pearl to cast the Pithing Needle, so I don't get to also Ancestral this turn. I just get to put it in my hand. Unless I draw another Mox, then we're going nuts. Strip mine in the hand from the Once Upon a Time. Chalice on 0. Well, there goes most of my plans. Got Collector Roof too. No, you do not. Interesting. Okay, I mean, Strip Mine's going to get me here. Do I have any answer to this Chalice? And Tinker over the top of it works. Get a Sphinx going works. But I don't have like a Perkle's Recall or anything. There's one Steel Sabotage in the sideboard. Okay. I can guarantee a Vamp Tutor by just playing Polluted Delta. Pithing Needle Bizarre would be so strange here because I don't know if you take a turn off and just play Strip Mine. Like maybe this thing just missed. Or maybe this is a dirty trick to get Opposition Agent going. Oh yeah, you just missed on Bizarre. That's cool. The games are a lot easier when you're just throwing rockets at each other. When it looks like this, things get weird. Ice Cradle with no creatures. All right. Let's hope Opposition Agent isn't a card that you have. Just getting Underground Sea. They've Strip Mine anyway. Let's make my cards good. Okay. I think I just have to get a land, as shitty as that is. I think they can beat Tabernacle. They can waste me. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get another Polluted Delta. Or no, I would just go straight for the... No, I'm going to get an Underground Sea. Okay. I hate that, but it happened. Okay, interesting. Opponent still chilling over there. I'm going to Pithing Needle Bizarre, just in case. Or if this resolves, I might name Strip Mine instead. Interesting. If I name Strip Mine, I can Ancestral next turn. Okay. I hope that was smart. Clearly don't have a Bazaar. Okay, cool. Just no plays pass. Doesn't mean doesn't have anything. Just means doesn't have any plays right now. Okay, I'm gonna scroll for Ancestral. I could have held up the Hullbreacher, could have held up the Bowmaster. I don't think either of that is where I want to be. I'm gonna Ancestral their upkeep. Okay, another Mox I can't cast. Sensei's Top that I can cast. Mystical Tutor gets Timetwister, if that's where I want to be with my life. Noxious Grasp. Noxious Removal. I like that name for it that I invented by accident. Okay. This is End Step Timetwister, untap, or End Step Hullbreacher, untap, Mystical for Twister, go. Rip it off. By go, I mean do it, not pass the turn. X Drinker. Yeah, this is a card that exists. Yeah, maybe I just, if you sink a bunch of mana into this, maybe I just Bowmaster it in the end step and spin my top instead. What's the rush? Level 3 is when it gets big, and you have 3 mana. Cool. All right, get in there. Little bow buddy. Ping this. That's dead. I have a clock now. Now I can Mystical. Oh, I just grabbed Tinker here. Yeah, what am I even doing? I'm talking about spinning my top. Who cares? How about Sphinx of the Steelwind? Put Tinker on top of the deck. And he knows what we're doing here. And GG. Okay, cool. 2 absolute dumb strings, and then one kind of interesting one where basically his Once Upon a Time missed on Bazaar, and then he did not play the game. The really interesting choice here was not to strip mine me when the coast was clear. Probably trying to save that for an Urza Saga or a better target, but not stripping me when I only had 1 land, and then not stripping me in response to Needle, and then this ended up just being a waste for the whole game. Vintage is a big, scary format, and probably smarter to save your tools for good uses for them rather than the first use for them. But in this case, it just didn't work out that way. Bam, Tutor for Underground Sea. Never fails. On to the next round. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the play in round 2 with a hand that looks busted by legacy standards, but all the fast mana in this deck, this is about the fairest hand I'd ever keep in a game of Vintage. And compare that to the hand I kept last round, which was literally just Urza Saga, hope it works. But here we are again. I'm going to keep this. I'm disappointed there's not a Mox in it to really get this tutor ripping, but Brainstorm plus Grim Tutor with Force, or Demonic Tutor, the good tutor. Demonic Tutor versus whatever they're up to, TBD. Polluted Delta go. It's sad, but it's true. It's what I got. Opponent's going to show me how to play Vintage now. Cool. Multiple Moxen. They got the old border ones. They're serious about it. Alright. They human. Alright. Uncounterable Thalia. That sucks every ass. I might as well get this Underground Sea. And I can't counter this thing. It doesn't affect what Brainstorm costs. I'm just going to let it come in here. Urza Saga, not... that's not bad. If I play Saga, it starts ticking. Yeah, I'm going to start ticking with Saga, because that can get Manifold Key, and Demonic Tutor next turn can get Time Vault. And then I have a turn 4 win attempt here. We'll see how many stupid humans they put into play with this cavern, though. Wasteland, great. Already dead. Going for the Underground Sea rather than the Saga. Oh, I spiked a basic. That'll show you. Strip Mine and Delta back on top. I'm going to end up redrawing all of these. Outland Liberator. Well, that kills Urza Saga. All right, everything's dead. Yeah, just doing it now. Smart. Well, I'm going to make my next couple land drops and see if they survive the cards my opponent is playing. Luminarch Aspirant. Okay. Black Lotus. That's not fair. Another Wasteland. Yeah. Just end it. Just make it happen. I mean, the sick joke is I could still win this game. A Mystical Tutor can get Ancestral. Ancestral can rip. Yeah, I think I want to just get the Ancestral train rolling here. If I find a bunch of artifact mana, that gets me out of this. The thing they're doing right now does not slow down Moxen at all. Chalice on 1. Well, my first target for Force of Will that I've ever gotten in my life. Taking 6. I am dead on board. So this Ancestral has to really bring the heat. Mystical Tutor for Ancestral Recall. Ancestral Recall's got to find Black Lotus and something else and more. Send it. Mox Jet, not what I'm looking for. Okay. Close. Yep, opponent showing me the vintage with the uncounterable business. That was the real. If I just force that Thalia, that game is easy. Okay, the Noxious Grass, extra lands, Boilmeisters. This looks familiar. Force some negations out. Flusterstorm out. Who decided non-blue decks could be good? This is cyberbullying. I'm just trying to play vintage. Pithing Needle on Wasteland actually seems relevant. I already have one in the main. Maybe I'm going too deep on the second Needle. It's fine. Alright, cool. Those cards are gone. These cards are in. Just bodies and removal and additional mana sources. And all my busted stuff is still here. Let's do it. And that's 2 matches in a row where I kept a fair, reasonable looking hand and got sent to the Shadow Realm for it. And here we are with another fair looking hand. This one has Manifold Key in it and a tutor for the other half. But we saw last game how quickly these normal land drop hands can go awry. Fast mana really puts them in the trash. I think I'm going to mulligan this, which seems crazy because the hand is so powerful. Okay, speaking of powerful, here's Ancestral Recall. I'm going to keep this, and I'm putting Bowmasters on the bottom. There is a basic swamp. There is a basic island. It's all available to me. Blooded Strand pass. Oh, wait. I shouldn't have passed. I mulliganed. I have fast mana in my deck. Still got a little bit of legacy brain. I gotta knock this rust off before Vintage jams. There's 6 cards I could have cast if I had Ancestraled on my own turn. And now I have to play through the stupid Thalia. That's alright. Let's just draw 3 Mox and get it over with. Show me how foolish I've been. Okay. Unpunished. Doesn't mean I was right. Just means it wouldn't have got me too bad in that exact spot. Needle. I'm not going to play Needle. I have a choice between vamping, mysticling, or just playing Manifold Key. I think I'm going to hold up the tutors. Sheesh. Horizon Canopy. I'm going to fetch for my basic swamp here. Bowmaster does kill Thalia and buy space for this Noxious Grasp on the Archon. Yeah, I'm going to vamp for a Bowmaster. Okay, that's in there. Getting in for your damage. I draw Bowmaster. I'm just going to cast it now. I don't want them using their Horizon Canopy for anything good. Mox Emerald is their spell for turn. That's nice. Locked under their own Archon currently. What flash creatures do I need to worry about? Alright, I have Timetwister and Hullbreacher in hand now, if I can get to where I need to be. Just going to attack with my Orc army. I don't know enough about possible 5-color vintage hate bears right now to make an informed decision whether Bowmaster should get into the red zone versus flash creatures. Outland Liberator, I don't care about that. Second Horizon Canopy, we got him, folks. I can take 2 here to make sure they don't play another creature this turn, because they've already played 1 spell. I'm just going to take it. And then I get to fully unload next turn, whatever that means. Okay, destroyed that creature. Mystical in my upkeep. What does that do? It gets Tinker. I'm not ready to cast Tinker. I can just cast 2 artifacts this turn. Soul Ring. I can cast 3 artifacts this turn. Cool. Soul Ring. Deploy that. And I think I want to hold up Hullbreacher. Just get myself invested in a future where I can twist. Luminarch Aspirant. Sure. Collector. Oof. That one's annoying. I'll Hullbreach in response. At least now I don't have to worry about them coming after my Soul Ring, because it's already off. A Mox Emerald. In playing it, gets me, keeps it daytime. I'm going to Pithing Needle and name Outland Liberator. Okay. I can Mystical Tutor for the other Noxious Grasp. Yeah. Another one under the squeeze. Noble Hierarch. Okay. Spreading their +1 counters around pretty aggressively. I am gonna jump. I'll save the life. Orc armies are for dying. That's what they're for. Their express purpose in life. And Mystical in the end step. That's tough because if I just draw the land, we're ready to party. Mystical can also indirectly get a land with Lorien revealed, but I'm here for Noxious Grasp. That's the line. And I have to cast a spell on my turn. I'll go for the Collector Roof. And then you get this Manifold Key in here as well. Sucks that didn't quite work out to a Timetwister all at once. 4 mana in the pool. If this is some initiative creature, I mean, that's annoying, but I can twist my way through it, I hope. 2 cards left in hand. Just let me do the twist. Come on. Palace Jailer. No! Oh, that's so annoying. Good news is drawing extra cards is not an option. Bad news is I'm going to take a ton of damage here in the meantime. That was so shitty. All right. I have to take a bunch of damage. End step. You draw a card, which kills Noble Hierarch. I can attack with my 2 creatures, get the Monarch back if you don't have a removal spell. Okay, here we go. All in. Are we in there? Sick. Okay. Well, that's good news. They did all that work putting +1 counter on the Hierarch and then just didn't put it on the other one and lost their blocker. Oh, let's hope they're dead. Timetwister. Neat. Okay. And Time Vault immediately kills my opponent. Perfect. Urza Saga. Trigger. Time Vault. And I'll take all the turns, please. Yeah, that's the thing about creature decks in Vintage. That game 1 situation where I never did anything, just died 2 and 3 points at a time. Those games happen, but then there's also games where it's like they did so much that game and then just died the second I had one little window to breathe in. Noxious Grasp, good stuff. Who knew? Pithing Needle was also a player that game. Steel Sabotage is annoying because if they do have turn 1 Chalice for 0, that's going to be really hard to play through, but if they don't have exactly that, then this card sucks. The Tabernacle could tax them a little bit, but if they get 2 or 3 creatures down, they don't need to play spells anymore. And the Needle was good, but I don't know that I have room for it. Yeah, this is what we're doing. Same deck. Got to get one on the draw versus this nonsense, though. Okay, I have a basic land and fast mana. Let's try it. Even have a strip mine if they try to go a cavern route again. Cavern confirmed. Noble Hierarch, make strip mine a little goofy. Probably still going to do it, though. Oh, sick. I can time walk into it. Yeah, I'm just going to time walk, take the development here. Against a deck that's trying to squeeze my resources like this feels like it's worth doing. Sphinx of the Steelwind. That card I don't want in my hand for very long. Sensei's Top. Strip mine. Take your cavern out. And I think I'd rather hold up Brainstorm then just commit to a top activation now. So top sees all the same cards Brainstorm does if I need to force of will something this turn. Thalia. I will Brainstorm instead of top, because I can put the Sphinx back and still shuffle it away. Bowmaster's answers Thalia. We're cooking. And with top, I'm never going to draw this Sphinx, even if I don't shuffle it, so I can get my Bowmasters going. And I'm actually going to kill Hierarch instead of Thalia here. Who's the prison deck now? Yeah, just no land, no play, no attack. Cool. Cutting 2 lands out from under the deck that's supposed to be doing the cutting feels good. Childred, the Apocalypse. They just conceded. Could they see this top pile? I would concede too. Nice. All right, yeah. Once again, the non-blue deck cheesed us once, and then we knew what we were up against and beat them in games 2 and 3. There's a pattern going on. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw for round 3. Force blue card as a plan. Not really a whole thing on its own. There are vintage decks where this hand's fine, but I'm not going to keep a 4-lander. I've learned. This hand is pretty bad. I'm going to send this one as well. Okay, we found one that I'm going to keep. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I think I send the Flooded Strand to the bottom, and Mox Pearl turns on Academy, and that is enough to get a Lorien Revealed going. I think I'm going to send the Polluted Delta too. Yeah, alright. Hope they're not a prison deck. I'm dead to Sphere of Resistance. Just a Scalding Tarn. Let's start on Mox Pearl. See how things shake out here. If they hyper-aggressively Spell Pierce this Mox Pearl, that would be very smart, but also very weird. Okay, cool. I can breathe a sigh of relief. I will at least be able to tutor an Underground Sea and represent Flusterstorm for a turn cycle. Wasteland, disappointing. Okay, I'm gonna tutor with Lorien and then float blue. Just representing white doesn't do anything. I could have sequenced that. I could have just tutored with Lorien, but just doesn't represent anything that needs to be represented. I think holding up Bowmaster for this turn is reasonable. Bowmaster or Flusterstorm. Second Wasteland, come on. Okay, let's go. Deal 1 to you. And hope that this solos the game, because it's going to have to from here. Okay, come on, blue mana source. Oh, they're doing something. Guild, second main phase. Sad Preordain. Sad Preordain? Swords of Plowshares. Nope, happy Swords of Plowshares. Okay, looks like we're against Xerox. Probably Jeskai would be my inclination, based on what we've seen so far. There's a Tinker that would have really tied the room together if I still had an Academy, but, you know, opponent was a cop. Okay, they've got me under control. Oh, they have a Strip Mine ready for the next one. Bad news, everyone. Alright, Ancestral Recall. Someday. Mox Pearl, now my Mox Sapphire, now my best draw in the whole deck. Though I wouldn't complain about Black Lotus. They also... Oh, you want to do this? You want to hang out? You want to play 0 resource Magic with me? Because I'm in. Strip your Tundra. Cool. I have a 1/1. You don't. That's all there is. That's all that's going on right now. Missed your land drop last turn. Oh, come on. This is an outrage. Yeah, the alternative to stripping their Tundra was just leave Strip Mine in play as basically an unkillable land, which my next blue mana source puts Tinker on the stack. So you can't really count on Tinker resolving in this world. Oh, this is cool. Pithing Needle. Naming Flooded Strand so fast. So fast I can't even type it. I typed Fluses multiple times. Flooded Strand, shut it down. I play one of those. Okay. Just need this to hold out for 14 more turns. Heck yeah, they passed. Mental Misstep, now I can actually interact. 13 more turns. Clock's ticking. Cycling Lorien revealed. Boo, boo. That's so good. I wish I thought of that this game. Here it is, by the way. They're a copier. Preordain. I don't think I can spend my misstep on that. I need to resolve this Ancestral Recall pretty badly. Top bottom, they're Preordain. Come on, Black Lotus off the top. If I drop Black Lotus, I can tinker with Fluster back up, which is like pretty dang good. Even against an opponent who we're pretty sure has 7 spells in hand. Gitaxian Probe. Yep, have a look. Know that you're safe to do whatever you need to do. Cycled another Lorien revealed. Alright, yeah. They're a better strip mine deck than me. Volcanic Island. Jeskai. Oh, I just realized they're a Luris deck. How did that slip by me? Wow. I was just right there the whole time. Okay. If I saw that they were a Luris deck, I would have known that they were Jeskai Xerox basically from the jump. Haha! Gotcha. Their interaction is strip mine anyway, though they could have another Wasteland in hand. They've already used 2. Lavinia is such a dick. Okay, I am gonna play the island. And I can't win this fight anyway, so might as well do it on their turn, I suppose. Yeah, if I could still play Moxen, I would have fired off the Ancestral on my turn. Here's an EI, I'll respond to that. Right now, while they don't have Pyroblast or Flusterstorm available, they would have to force or misstep. Yep, force works. Force pitching back up Lavinia. Red Horde Arcanist, do you have the red source for it? Stripping my island, it's gone. It looks like that Arcanist is staying out for now. The card I wanted the entire game just showed up, but now they have Lavinia. Pain in my butt. Now I'm gonna need 3 lands in play before I can even do anything. Do I have main deck outs to Lavinia? 1 Bowmaster's already gone. I can ambush it in combat with the other, I guess. Is my out to Lavinia here? Allowing my army. That's gone. Now they can start attacking for real. Ragavan's in. I can't misstep it because of Lavinia. I'm not even allowed to cast misstep, much less do it for free. Gross. Alright. I'm good. Yeah, that was the classic Xerox experience. This deck is very good at picking apart decks like mine, though it's much better at beating PO than it is at these tight Tinker decks. And are we just going to see this again? Sure looks like it. This has been a popular theme. Force of Negations out. Flusterstorm's actually reasonable in this matchup, unlike previous ones though. So's Mental Misstep. So's Gitaxian Probe. So my boarding's a little tougher here. I'm gonna cut the top with Bad Art. Yogg-Will. It's tough to get anything going in the first place, much less a second time around. I don't think I can trust Yogg-Will here. Sphinx of the Steelwind actually kind of sucks against dedicated Swords to Plowshares decks. Kind of both the Citadel or bust on the Tinker. Oh no, I have Time Vault Volkita. Never mind. Still very happy with Tinker as a magic card. Hullbreacher is good for the matchup just on stats. Narset's good for the matchup on stats. Pithing Needle can hit Wasteland. Maybe I have to shave a Hullbreacher here. Is Hullbreacher worse than Narset? Yeah, I think so. Because I'm getting lower on the curve. I'm bringing in 2 Bowmasters. I think it's fine. That's the spot I seem to have for it. It's the spot I can find. 2 forces, only 1 land, nothing going on here. Luris revealed, which I actually saw this time. Gonna mulligan this. Okay, this is a turn 1 Bowmaster, and I can see what's going on. I'm going to keep it and send probably Narset, unfortunately. Oh no, Time Vault. I think Time Vault is farther away from being relevant than Narset is. Probia. I want to see it. Sapphire, Pyroblast, Strip Mine, Force of Negation, 2 Plows. Great. Okay. Very good against this Bowmaster start. And it's actual Strip Mine too. Fetching Basic Island doesn't help. Sapphire. Preordain. Okay. Sick. I get to shove my Bowmaster into this, get an extra ping off it. And they can't Pyroblast or Swords to Plowshares off of Volcanic Island. Well, they could Pyroblast. It just won't be helpful here. Alright, cool. I actually have a reasonable clock of sorts that these Swords to Plowshares are going to have to stabilize over time. Drawing a blue source now. Getting this Narset going. Oh no, they have Pyroblast. Never mind. Top bottom the Preordain as well. But still, keeping my lands going. Ugh. Yeah, that Strip Mine over there is going to be trouble, because they can take me off Flusterstorm. But if they strip me, then they're not plowing. That's good news. We went with the Strip Mine. I'm going to float blue. They can just change phases, but I would rather represent, actually, like, give them a chance to mess up meaningfully on Flusterstorm. Okay. They didn't mess up. They just had a different thing. Ragavan's coming through. And it exiled a Polluted Delta, a card I would have absolutely loved to draw. And this gives them Swords of Plowshares mana. Gross, gross, gross. What a beating. Academy. That's a good card. Alright, I'm going to play it. And I am not going to attack, because I'm not going to let Ragavan keep connecting here and feeding them cards and colored sources. Of course you have a Wasteland. Why wouldn't you have a Wasteland? Top bottom Preordain when I had otherwise perfect information. And then 2 cards I haven't seen were exactly perfect to solve for the situation. Nice. Alright, Rag's just in now. Cool. I can do this too. Alright, take out the Volk. I just clicked Pyroblast out of the revealed cards like it did, like it was actually gone. I meant to just point at it. Yeah, my brain is coming off its wheels as I slowly get squeezed to death by this deck. Can we keep it coming? Alright, Polluted Delta, we're back in. Now I have a land and you don't. Your Mox matters and mine doesn't though. I can Fluster a Plow right now if they spike. Volcanic Island does not cast Plow. They do have a Pyroblast over there though, that I foolishly hid. Black Lotus, okay. Shieldred with Fluster backup. Let's go. Pew pew pew. Can't Force a Negation this, or Pyroblast it. Can Force of Will it, and I can Flusterstorm that. Okay. That Force is a little annoying, because now White Source off the top sets free the Ragavan to start chonking. And I'm not going to attack, because I'm not going to let them White Source and just take over. I'll attack with Shieldred next turn, if she's still around. Brick, 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 brick. Merchant Scroll. Okay. Slow and steady, it seems. Dig Through Time. Powerful spell. Mystical Tutor. Not immediately helpful. I'm going to attack with Shieldred and not my Orc army. Opponent's at 8. They will be at 6 in this draw step. They can dig pain-free. Oh, or they can just draw the White Source right now and then kill Shieldred and Dig Through Time. Gross. They could also plow my Orc army, connect with Ragavan, Dig Through Time, and still maybe have Plow around. Okay. Nope. Didn't want to mess around with that. Probably for the best. There is still a Pyroblast over there. I'm going to throw this Mystical Tutor into it. See what they have to say about that. These Treasure Cruise. Yikes. The Dig Through Time was a ruse. Okay, I'm going to Mystical Tutor. I'm sure it will be answered in 100 different ways. There's the Pyroblast. Come on, Bowmaster off the top. Urza Saga. I don't hate. This also casts Hullbreacher. And I'm just going to hold. They're currently in a spot where they have to answer Urza, Saga, Orc Army, and Hullbreacher, and I want to leave them in that spot. Alright. There is a cantrip on the stack. I'm going in. Anything I construct at this point is good. They can't dig through time in response. They could plow, they could pyro, or they could just resolve their preordain and give me a treasure, which appears to be what's happening. Nice. Top-topped preordain. But they don't get the card now. They can dig with what they have. That land drop got them there. They can dig both of the cards they just saw with preordain. Ragavan, highly effective blocker here. That's so stupid. Noxious Grasp doesn't kill Ragavan. I can Narset here. It gives up on Urza Saga. Do I think that Saga is better? Probably. Orc Army's going to make an excursion here. Because I have a big blocker in the form of Construct Token. And putting them dead to all my stuff next turn is a worthwhile endeavor. Okay. Hullbreacher in play. Saga in play. They just drew a card that they liked off preordain last turn. We know Lurrus is around. This fetch land could just be getting a Tundra to cast Lurrus with. Lurrus dies to Noxious Grasp. Okay. Here's Lurrus. And then they can replay Ragavan from the graveyard. Get the blocking squad going. Or they could Black Lotus from hand and just combo off somehow. Red Horde Arcanist, sure. Okay, I kind of like my spot here. End step, construct. Come on, mana source. Yeah, that's a good mana source. Okay. I make another construct. I tutor Mox Jet. I kill Lurrus, and I kill my opponent. Mox Jet, Mana Crypt, Noxious Grasp, and combat. Alright, they're not dead. They're at 1. And they can't draw any cards. But they do have Dig Through Time. Okay. And they're about to draw the other card they kept with Preordain. Here we are. 2 cards that you kept on purpose plus Dig Through Time. What did they do? They concede without even casting the dig. Great. Cool. Okay. Scrappy little creature game. Gets it done. And Pithing Needle and Hullbreacher in the sideboard are just kind of taunting me. This additional Flusterstorm as well, kind of tempting. I don't know that I want to be off of Force of Will, but at the same time, Flusterstorm lines up better against most things I care about, but they do have a bunch of creatures in their deck. If I shave Merchant Scroll, that's kind of, I mean, like Merchant Scroll getting Ancestral is a very important line to exist, but if they're a deck full of Pyroblasts and Flusterstorms, do I just skip the middleman on Merchant Scroll and just play cards? Orcish Bowmaster seems like a very important tool to this matchup. I could cut my Tinker and my Citadel and just let Time Vault Manifold Key happen with Urza Saga and Tutors. Or I could cut the Twister and just not have the Hullbreacher GG button. Yeah, I feel like Hullbreacher as a creature is enough that if it's in play, I don't need to go over the top with something like Time Twister. I can still Vault Key or Bolas' Citadel. All of that works for me. Needling Wasteland. That's what I'm looking at. Like, the Wasteland part of their deck is the part I'm actually most worried about. Because if I can develop and play my cards, we're doing fine. If I can't, we're doing bad. And I'm going to shape a Force of Will. Go ahead, call me crazy, but it's out. They haven't shown me an individual card that I need to just throw all my resources at. I mean, something like Lavinia is annoying, but this is what I'm doing. It's done. Stop yelling. Citadel in my opening hand, lit the Tinker, 1 land, got a mulligan this. Doesn't do anything good. Alright, I like this one. 3 mana, meaningful interaction. I'm keeping it. Now what I send to the bottom is the hard part. Hullbreacher is the only threat in this hand, but I don't need a threat if I'm already dead. I think I'm going to bottom Hullbreacher and just leave my hand full of mana and answers, and then I'll figure out a threat later. Between Plow and Pyroblast, they just have a lot of answers to a Hullbreacher. I'm not gonna misstep a Preordain against a deck with Ancestral Recall and Pyroblast in it. Top bottom the Preordain. Black Lotus, great. I think I have to... Yeah, I could just get Saga going here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get Saga going. And play the Ruby. This leaves down Flusterstorm for the turn, but you can't Fluster Lavinia anyway, which is a card I'm worried about. Drawing the Demonic Tutor gets Time Vault if Urza Saga gets to run its course, which was never going to happen against this Wasteland strategy. And I'd rather Saga get wasted than Polluted Delta or Underground Sea in this spot. So I'd rather they just, for one time in life, didn't have Wasteland, but it's impossible. Challenge level impossible. Another Preordain. Bottom both. Love to see it. Get rid of them. Another Saga. Let's run that back. It was good enough last turn, and we literally all have all the same cards in play that we had last turn. Not a Wasteland. Could be a Dak Fate, and that messes me right up too. Okay, looks like just a Tundra is what they got for me here. Just keep the lands coming. That's how I want to do this. If I can hit my land drops, I can win. That's what I said during sideboarding. Ancestral Recall. No. Stop it. If they Pyroblast and I Fluster, I can't make a Construct, but I'm not giving them 3 cards. The Constructs are a distraction anyway. Fluster, Ancestral Recall for 4, which is the perfect number because they have Black Lotus. Okay, cool. That's just gone. They could have paid for 3 of them and then forced another one if they really wanted all these cards. They did get me out of Urza Saga Construct for the turn, but like I said, all a distraction to get Manifold Key into play. Mana Source number 6 now available. Luris in hand. Okay, cool. They can play Luris, refire Black Lotus. Yeah, this is the combo. Welcome to Vintage. Remember when Storm decks could just do this in Legacy with Lion's Eye Diamond? Messed up. Oh, there's more. They weren't done. That wasn't enough. Treasure Cruise, cool. I would love to draw Black Lotus or Time Vault, and then I can just present a win this turn. Of course it will. Turn late to the party. If I make a Construct to get another turn of Luris stuff. If I don't make a Construct. Alright. I'm not going to make a Construct. Now I can decide if I want Manifold Key and try to shove. That is what I'm going to do. Manifold Key. Noxious Grasp the Luris. Ooh, that got a force pitching EI out of their hand. That's good. That's why I did that first. As much as a Black Lotus every turn is annoying, it's not as annoying as being dead. I'm going to grab Time Vault and hope that I top deck a blue card to back this all up. Black Lotus is back. They're fetching land number 4, mana number 7. EI. Alright, just don't show me a Wear Tear or any easy answer to this Manifold Key. Drawing live to any blue card is such a nice feeling. It gives me so many hits. Okay. Lavinia means I can't force back, but I don't need to if they can't counter Time Vault. So the first wave is still alive. Dashing Rag. Okay. Rag can hit. They deal 5 to me. This is a known card in their hand. It's Ragavan. That's good. The Rag Treasure plus Black Lotus can play Lavinia if that's the plan. It's something I don't care about. Please. Took a Flooded Strand. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't affect my plan at all. Didn't play Lavinia. Yuck. That means they got something better. Alright, blue card off the top. Blue card off the top. Blue card off the top. Shit. Alright, well. I'm still going to do the thing that my hand can do. Can't hide behind this Luris forever. I think he's going to bury me. Yeah, Force of Negation, pretty good. If I had drawn the blue card, I probably win there. But they never deployed the Lavinia. Rag in hand. I take another 5 this turn. They hit another thing. Saga's active after that, which is bigger than Rag. Yep, take a bunch. Please don't take a good card off Ragavan. Took another Polluted Delta. Alright, Ragavan has cleared 2 cards I didn't want to draw. Dreadhorde Arcanist. That card's really hard to beat, especially with Ancestral Recall in the graveyard. Valerian Academy. Late to the party on that one. Still gonna play it. They can fire Ancestral out of the graveyard with Dreadhorde Arcanist. Mox Ruby from hand, Rag, and one unknown still over there. My construct can beat Dreadhorde Arcanist in combat. Dashing Rag. They can put me to 1 here. If everything comes in. Oh, wow, leaving Luris back. Coward. They're targeting Ancestral. I'm gonna make the construct. And I'm 1 mana short of countering Ancestral. Yep, that is true. Block. I'm actually going to block Ragavan here, because DHA's already done its thing, already caused its trouble, and they can just replay any of these with Luris anyway. So, take fewer damage, deny resources now as much as I can. There's Rag back. Luris has been in play for so many turns. It's insane. Wasteland, oh no, found that right on time. I was about to say Saga has just about taken control of this game, despite everything they've been doing, but that's no longer the case. Bolas' Citadel that I cannot cast, and I'm at 5. Bad news, everybody, we're dead. Okay. Yeah, Wastelands versus this deck, shockingly effective. I got 4 Urza Sagas, just really want high amounts of mana. That one turn where I didn't draw a blue card, I could have forced backup. I don't think it was getting better if I wait. It was like shove and hope they don't have it, or wait and give them more time to have it. It's a tough spot all around. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy to create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe. On the draw for round 4. First good look at a Black Lotus opener, but I have Bolas' Citadel and Sphinx in hand. This is already a 5. Yeah, I'm trying to find some silver lining in this. Like, I even have the key, but no route to vault. Gotta send it. Okay, I'm fine with this. I'm gonna keep this end bottom. I think it's actually Academy. Or is it Underground Sea? Yeah, this Academy is a ways away from being useful, but otherwise the hand is solid. Mox Sapphire. Ponder. We keep those. Mox Sapphire, Ponder keep. Yep. Counts. Passes the vibe check. Ponder even in this deck? I feel like I haven't seen it. Nope, it's not. Just checking. Okay, they pondered, chose to shuffle, then played a Volcanic Island. Show me your secrets. What are we doing? Pyroblast Merchant Scroll, Dak Faden. No second land. This Urza Saga is set loose by the Mana Crypt. I don't like it though. I kind of like leaving up Fluster to clip this Merchant Scroll. That stops their line to Ancestral. If they just draw the land for Dak right now, then we're in trouble no matter what. Just nothing. I think I do want to cycle the Lorien. Is having more access to more land drops. Never hurt anyone. Sphinx this Steel Wind. Bummer. The Tinker giveth and the Tinker taketh away. I'm not playing out this Crypt until I need it for mana. I know they have Dak Faden in their hand. Gross. Lotus Petal. Oh, sick. They still went with the scroll. I could let them get the Ancestral, actually, and then counter that. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Make it look like I have nothing. They want to hit a land drop here. I don't think they can really afford to wait. And even if they can, I can get it later. Alright, that might have been greedy. Time will tell. This Pithing Needle is an excellent draw. Now I can Underground Sea, Mana Crypt, Needle, Dak Faden, and still counter an Ancestral Recall. Dak Faden. Okay, that's handled. Ancestral does not get countered by Fluster here, but it does eat the Lotus Petal and deny them their turn. Moxjet doesn't change anything. End step, make a construct. Lost my crypt flip. Oh wow, they waited so long on this luster, or on this ancestral, that now I have Hullbreacher hanging out with it. I am not going to make a construct. I am going to get tutor a Black Lotus and then just try to win the game, I think. I have Fluster back up. Oh, they have Force. No, they have 3. I'm not going to go for Black Lotus. I think I go for Sensei Stop here. Or I can just invest in the Manifold Key. Yeah, I like that one. Manifold Key, blue to Delta. And right now, while I have mana floating, gotta think about stuff a little bit. I think I'm just gonna pass. I have 6 mana here to cast both my spells if I need to. And just, they're taking 4. Yeah, I forgot about 4. If I had really assessed the Force of Negation a little longer, I would have made another construct. Okay, Ancestral Recall. I will respond to that. 1, 2, 3, and Hullbreacher. They'll Pyroblast this, I'll Flusterstorm that, and then, oh, Dress Down. That's fun. Okay, that just blows me out on multiple angles. Sure. You get your Ancestral, and my Hullbreacher's off, and it kills my construct. I probably need to fluster this Ancestral. Yeah, okay. I'll just fluster the Ancestral now that we're in here. That's before they draw a card with Dress Down, just in case. That was a really cool play. That was the one card in their hand I didn't know, and it just perfectly answered everything I had going on. Vintage. And I know they have Pyroblast that can pick off this Hullbreacher at their leisure. They also have a turn with Dress Down in play where Hullbreacher doesn't do anything. There it goes. All right, and we're kind of back to parity here. I don't even want to Timetwister this board. Won my crypt flip. Force of Will. All right, so I can Timetwister with Force Blue card, but that's not even necessarily a good play. Refilling my control opponent's hand after I've done all this work to get it low. I don't think that's how I want to proceed. Tinker's in my deck somewhere. Time Vault's in my deck somewhere. Demonic Tutor's in my deck somewhere. I have a lot of GG buttons. Problem is, draw go. I'm going to take, on average, 1.5 damage per turn. Oh, yikes. I can just cast this, I guess. If nothing else, it's Force Bait. Alright, Mana Crypt, untap Mana Crypt, and then black, black, black. They can hardcast Force of Negation here, plus whatever else they got. And I'm going to Force of Will this, pitching Sphinx. Now I'm in a position where Timetwister actually makes sense, because I'm down to 1 card. If I lose this counter war. Okay. Another Pyroblast. Card is very good. My Citadel and my Sphinx are both in exile now. Yeah. We're living on the edge. All right, now Timetwister makes sense for me. I need to find Time Vault to win the game. I found a Brainstorm. Good card. I can get rid of this DAC that doesn't do anything. Black Lotus. Good card. And Black Lotus Pass. This is representing Force of Will. Doing pretty good on crypt flips here. Alright, I'm going to play Mox Ruby, then go all in. Just do the twist. If I get Hullbreachered here, whatever. But this is my chance to do anything. They're going to cast the force they were representing. Indeed they are. Okay, yep. That's fine. They didn't shuffle the Brainstorm, and Black Lotus was just spent. And now we're in just a hammer fest of what comes off the top of the deck better. And I know that they're Brainstorm locked in that equation. Crypt flips are happening. Tinker is still a win. I have my own force now. These are the type of games you lose to your crypt, though. All my opponent has to do is not lose for long enough, and I eventually will. Repealing Pithing Needle. I'm actually going to allow this, because then I can force the deck, and then it's just gone. I force the deck. Please don't force me back with your mystery cards. Cool. Deck's answered. Scalding Tarn. They could have shuffled the Brainstorm and just didn't. I like them all. But I guess that plan makes sense. Clear the needle, stick the deck. Alright, deck. Tutor, Tinker. On the flip. Urza Saga, I'll take that one. And I'm going to refire Needle and name Dak Faden again. Where there is one, there may be another. Okay, the Saga can win the game on its own. Now, just waiting for Mana Crypt to kill me isn't a thing. They have to do other stuff. They just passed the turn. Lost my Crypt, flip down to 7. Mental Misstep. That's helpful, I hope. Scalding Tarn that they didn't play last turn. So that was their draw this turn. End step. Let's go. They've shown me one dress down. I don't know how many they're going to have. Crypt, take it easy. All right, won the flip. Force of Negation answers dress down. Make another friend. Tutor Sensei's Divining Top on this board. Just keep the goods coming. Okay. Opponent is dead on board. I can answer a dress down. I can answer a dress down and Pyroblast back up. Okay. Hands in the air. This is it. And they took the 7 there, which makes me think they don't have dress down, unless they were planning some Giga Brain thing where they end step dress down just in case I have Hullbreacher, and then they combo me out somehow. Fetching Underground Sea, revealing that we're Grixis on the final turn of the game. What a slugfest. That was great. Good game. Okay, we are Grixis something or other. Orcish Bowmasters, I like. Flusterstorm, I like. Shieldred, I like. For the first time, I don't think I need Noxious Grasp. I'm going to shave one Force of Negation. I don't trust my opponent completely. They could still be a Tinker or a Breach deck. Gogwhale actually seems great in this matchup. Hullbreacher seems great. Shave one of the tops. Probe, Misstep, all good. Fluster, I'm boarding in another one. Obviously like the main deck ones too. Timetwister seems so risky. It is just one card, but... And I guess it did draw out counters last game. Sphinx of the Steel Wind doesn't die to Pyroblast, doesn't get stolen by Dax, so I do like all those things. Maybe just, once again, lower the curve by switching a Hullbreacher into a Bowmaster. And one more's got to go. I think I just won't bring in the third, or I won't bring in the fourth Bowmaster. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 3/3 Bowmaster Hullbreacher, max out on Flusterstorms, and then have Shieldred at the top end. I like this hand. It's fair, but it's good. My opponent is a fair deck, relatively. Blooded Strand from them. Another Bowmaster from me. Hope that card ends up being good, because I have several of them. All right, we're just playing land go. I'd love to find another land or Mox myself to just feel good about this Saga. All right, Black Lotus fits the bill. Yeah, Black Lotus now gives me Hullbreacher plus Bowmaster, or Hullbreacher plus Fluster and Misstep. I got options. Preordain. Okay. I'm going to flash in... Oh, I shouldn't have fetched. Hullbreacher's just better. Yeah, I'm going to go for Hullbreacher first. I just listed all the ways in which I'm rolled up on a Hullbreacher. Okay, they're fetching. I'm going to misstep a Pyroblast, because I can't misstep a Force of Will. Mental Misstep this, and I will pay the iron price of life. And Hullbreacher's in. I don't need a Bowmaster because they're not going to draw a card, but I do have a floating mana, so once my treasure's made, I'll burn off my floating mana on Bowmaster. Might as well, right? They're clearly out of answers. And they bottom Preordain. They're trying to move phases. Let's just put another attacker in. Bowmaster plus Hullbreacher is not a combo, but I am certainly happy to have them both. I guess it's a combo in that regard. Even drew the land. It's so easy. All right, opponent's going to die very quickly from this position. Even if they have, like, Toxic Deluge or the rare Vintage Sweeper, I have Flusterstorm. Demonic Tutor. Do I care? Oh, they might play, like, one Strip Mine. Yeah, I'm just going to beat them into the earth here. Give you nothing. Take from you everything. I have to use my treasure to make my construct, but worth it. Let's it's just a little 1/1. It'll be at least a 3/3 before I have to do anything with it. Drew a blue card to back up Force of Will. 2/2s. Now my bounty of exciting things I can tutor for. Do I want mana? Do I want Manifold Key? I could just Needle Scalding Tarn and take a possible draw out of their deck. Get top in case I need to rebuild after all this somehow. Yeah, I'm just going to Needle Scalding Tarn, actually. Going for complete denial of air and water to my opponent's life. Okay, they are very dead on board, and I have Force of Will. They need to be no longer dead, and they need to be Force of Will. And they have none of the above. Cool. On to the final round. Positive record locked. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw, in the final round, positive record locked, bread and butter 4/1 on the line. Tragic, absolutely tragic, no blue mana in this Ancestral Recall Force of Will hand. So I do have Force blue card, and what are my outs to hit a blue source in 2 draw steps here? 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, and then Lorien 14. That's not that many, actually. Okay, fine, I'll mulligan. Rewarded, rewarded. This is the Magic universe just saying, you know what, buddy, you did a good job mulling that borderline hand. We'll give you a 6 that had everything you liked about the 7, and nothing you didn't. I think I'm sending Bowmasters to the bottom. Hullbreacher is my blue card for Force, and it's my payout if all this works. Oh. Yikes. Dark Ritual is on the stack. We're against some oops all spells. We might not even get a chance to enjoy our business here. Oh, do you have the Pact? Hull Breach you, or force you pitching Hull Breacher. Tilt. Okay, yep, we're dead. The worst part about this is if I had gone first, then I could also just hold up Ancestral Recall you as a win condition. So, die roll game teased me with all the cool things I could have done with my Ancestral Recall. All right. I'm just going to screenshot their deck real quick so we know what's in it. Misdirection, Force, Pact, Misdirection, 1 Oracle, Hermit Druid, Force, Misdirection, Pact, Force, Misdirection. I get it. There's a theme here. The Dread Return is in the graveyard, so is the Oracle. I currently see 1 Oracle. Sometimes Vintage decks play 2 because you have all these blue pitch spells, but alright, I understand what's going on here. GG. Okay, I win that game on the play. Good to know. Mindbreak Trap, Force of Negation, Blusterstorm, Leyline of the Void. Is Pithing Needle a card that I want? I can name Underworld, whatever. And by I can name it, I mean it is legal within the rules, if I can remember what the card is actually called. Balustrade Spy doesn't have an activated ability, but the other one does. I think I want anything that could give me a shot at anything. A Bowmaster does not matter here. For the first time, I'm not boarding them in, but in fact, boarding them out. Hullbreacher also barely matters. Sphinx really doesn't do anything. If I resolve a Tinker this game, it's not going to be for a card that kills them in 4 turns. It's going to end the game now. Sensei's Top, very slow. Unlikely to want a Timetwister this deck, though if I do fire off a turn 1 Timetwister, it basically forces a fresh mull to 7 that they don't get a chance to get rid of if it's not good. And this is a deck that's built around its mulligan decisions pretty heavily. Right, Dig Through Time and Yogg-Will seem like endgame cards where this game is unlikely to last more than 1 turn. Mystical Vamp, DT, I want all of that. I'm actually... Well, top is how you guarantee a win with Bolas's Citadel, so leaving 1 in, it's not just for grindy situations, it's for, like, all situations. Mental Misstep could hit a Soul Ring or a Mana Vault or a Dark Ritual, all that matters. Merchant Scroll can get a Force. Wow, this is tough. I'm running out of time and genuinely unsure what I'm supposed to do here. Because Narset and one of the Hullbreachers can go. Narset might be better than Hullbreacher, actually, because she digs for additional answers. All right, I'm doing it like this. Okay, bet. Yeah, I'll keep this. I'd be more excited about a Leyline of the Void, but this is literally force blue card plus Flusterstorm, and Urza Saga's a win con. Let's actually look at this deck. How did they beat? There's Cabal Therapy. Okay, there are confirmed instances of Cabal Therapy. My question to myself was, should I fight over Dread Return or the Spy? And quite clearly, it's the Spy. Mana Crypt. And they did Mull to 4. Soul Ring. Would have been a great target for that misstep that I left in. Remember that? Goblin Charbelcher. That's close to a thing that I care about, except I don't, because I have Force of Negation. Pitching Force of Negation. Saving my Force of Will. Drew another Force. Okay, if I find a mana source to turn on this Saga, then I feel excellent. If we don't, then I feel just medium. Okay, draw go from them. Come on, mana source. Land, Mox. No, an uncastable DT. What a tease. In the Saga can grab Mox Jet next turn, then we're back in business. It's mostly still fine, but not exactly what I wanted to do. If I draw a black source, I can tutor the key and then just DT for Vault. Can we please? Or just draw a turn 4 Leyline of the Void. Easy. I'm going to get Mox Jet. And then I'm going to cast Demonic Tutor. And this is actually really interesting. If I Ancestral myself, they have shown me multiple misdirections in their deck, but I have multiple forces in mine. I could also just miss. Like, I could grab Black Lotus, cast Narset, dig that way. I could also get Black Lotus, cast Leyline of the Void, shields up that way. I think I'd rather just Ancestral here, though. Maybe that's greedy, but the idea of actually hitting land drops and progressing my game rather than getting one shot ever at anything kind of sucks. Yeah, they had the misdirection, that's fine. I was ready, remember? I even said it. Ancestral found the Lotus, which is something I was going to look for anyway. Lotus is going to cast Narset here. And then we dig. Cool thing about Vintage rather than Legacy is that Narset can hit mana sources if we were so inclined. Mox Emerald, Mana Crypt, Mystical Tutor gets me to Tinker someday. Maybe not today, though. Mindbreak Trap is just further shields up. Yeah, this colorless mana I'm not exactly excited about. Yeah, I'll just put Mindbreak Trap in my hand. Put another layer on. Narset gets another set of looks next turn. Someday they'll lose a Crypt Flip. It's theoretically possible. But not today. Okay, I found the land. That's good news. Narset, find me some gas. Lorien revealed Mental Misstep, Gitaxian Probe. Lorien revealed is Leyline of the Void next turn. Yeah, I'm just going to keep playing Control here. We know I like that. I also have Seal Sabotage that can hit all sorts of cool stuff at this point. We know they have Belcher. Okay, then I'm gonna end step, Island Cycle, the Lorien. I could have just held the Lorien, see if I hit natural land drops and maybe get to 5 someday. I don't think that's where I need to be, though. Strip Mine's cool, maybe someday, but for now, I'm just gonna cast this Leyline. This does reveal that I have Leyline for game 3, but I need there to be a game 3 before I'm worried about revealing technology for it. Opponent finally lost a Crypt Flip. We're in business. Mox Jet has been cast. They know about Mindbreak Trap, so they are incentivized to just play out mana like that when they can. Strip Mine. I'd rather take out a black source, but now that they have Mox Jet, I can't really do that anyway. Okay. This is the situation that I was in recently, where I have to be alive long enough to survive this, outlast this crypt. Even if I don't find my own win con, my hand is 5 counterspells. And cards like Tinker are in my deck somewhere. Alright, Saga. There we go. Now there's a real plan to exit this game. Crypt hit them again. We're finally making progress on that end. Another land. Mox Sapphire. I'll get it in. Playing the Sapphire lets me activate Saga and Hardcast for some negation. Okay, they're just passing. I'm going to make a big construct in the end step. I'm going to tutor Pithing Needle and name Goblin Charbelcher. Found a Mana Crypt. That'll keep my counterspell options flush. Goblin Charbelcher is turned off with the Needle, and there's a Leyline in play. They have so much work to do. They have to get through a hate piece and my handful of counterspells in order to do anything on either axis of the deck right now. They won their final crypt flip for the road. Rubbing it in. Cool. I don't think anything changes here. This is the highest density of answers, mana, and tutors that I'm able to present, and that's what I want in this matchup. Let's do it. Leyline with force backup. Sold. Keep. They would have to Belcher with protection for this to work. And even if they do that, it costs 4 to cast Belcher, but 7 to activate it. Like 7 total, 4 plus 3. So I would get a turn to probe plus brainstorm and try to hit Pithing Needle, even if they do manage to shove a Belcher into play this turn. I have 2 layers of guaranteed help and then 1 layer of potential out if they get through my top layer. Opponent's on 4. Leyline. So Mox Pearl, Black Lotus, Belcher, Pact. Then you would die to your own pact. No, you can belch. Nope. Black Lotus would be gone. You would die to your own pact in that world. But drawing Hullbreacher was great. Now I can probe guilt-free. Show me your secrets. There's a good chance that probe was just better as a blue card for force. Okay, they do in fact have Goblin Charbelcher. I can just DT for Pithing Needle and be done with this. Or I can Black Lotus pass. I could brainstorm, fetch a Hullbreacher. All of that is weirdly risky. Unnecessarily risky, one might say. I guess I kind of get the brainstorm for free, though, if I have to sack Lotus to make my line anyway. Or I could go sack for black straight into Pithing Needle. Save my blue card. Yeah, that's probably the way to go. Black, black, black. DT for Pithing Needle. And name Goblin Charbelcher. And now what they're going to be looking for is Force of Vigor, which can kill the Leyline and the Pithing Needle, and they have Turn Timber Symbiosis in hand already as green card. So I have to hold up Force for their possible Force for the rest of the game. That's how I lose, is if I let my shields down. And now I can Brainstorm and Shuffle, if I even care, but Brainstorm just being a guaranteed blue card is a pretty good thing for it to be right now. Hey, there's the thing I said. Force, pitching, Brainstorm. I want the Hullbreacher to start actually beating down and winning the game. Okay, they've had enough. They tapped out. We covered all our bases. Leyline for the graveyard, Pithing Needle for the Belcher, hold the Force, don't get greedy on the Brainstorm, even though it was kind of free last turn. Might have ended up without Force blue card or Force blue card that I don't want to spend, and as a result, we win the match. A 4-1, bread and butter. That was my same record in my last Vintage League. 4-1 is almost a good enough pace to top 8 Eternal Weekend, which is the reason for all this practice. Eternal Weekend's usually a 9-round event, and if you 4-1 your first air quotes league and then go 4-0 in your second league, you don't actually have to finish the other one. 8-1 is good enough for top 8. That's neither here nor there, really, but just winning a lot more than you're losing is necessary to top 8 a 9 or 10 round tournament. And we are doing that so far with both decks that I've played in this series, Doomsday being the other one. This deck was not as powerful as Doomsday, which is very obviously a deck that's built to just shove and make your opponent dead instantly. This deck has more of a control shell, more of a counterplay, interplay, go back and forth kind of aspect to it. And I like that a lot in my decks. I don't want to be necessarily pressured into doing one thing all the time. But if that one thing is horrendously broken and hard to disrupt, then I could probably be convinced. One thing that this league showed us, even more than what our own deck is doing, is what the non-blue decks are doing, which is like have an explosive start, win one of the 3 games and then lose the match. And every time I get tempted for some Archon of Emeria deck or a Bizarre Baghdad deck, I'm just like, yeah, I don't really want to be that dog in the sideboard games all the time. So I am pretty convinced through my experience, both against my opponent's decks and with this deck in general, that Ancestral Recall should be in my deck for Vintage Champs, whatever I end up doing. Guy, thank you for sponsoring this series. There are more to come for Vintage fans. Don't worry, I'm going to be playing Vintage at least once a week for the next few weeks. And I believe there's more that have been requested by people other than Guy. I'd have to check my records, but Eternal Weekend is a couple months out, or four months out. That's enough time to make a plan and really get familiar with the formats again. I play Legacy every day, but Vintage, gotta start knowing what's going on, and Bowmaster was pretty impressive against those Thalia decks, which are normally super annoying, and the number of creatures between Saga, Bowmaster, Hullbreacher, and Sheoldred just really let you dumpster even the creature decks. You're just better at creatures than they are. Just very cool. I like it. Anyway, I was in the middle of signing off. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.